सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Yesterday I mentioned that for the evening session, I did not allow the younger children to attend because I thought they're not ready to understand. This is a very deep philosophy. It's not about some Puranic story where they can be entertained. So there's no point in calling them. Let me call only the teenagers and above. But you know, I was in for a surprise. I'll have to eat my words now because I got a mail from one of the fathers sitting in the audience that his 6-year-old boy also was attending the sessions diligently every day. And yesterday, he was not even listening to what my discourse was, apparently. He was reading his own book, some story book, while the father was obviously paying attention to everything that was being told. Towards the end of the session, the discourse, as it was reaching its end, this boy became restless. He wanted to go to the washroom. And the father was agitated because he thought, just now the discourse is coming to an end. This fellow sat through it so far. And when, it is at the peak of it, he wants to go out. But he insisted that he be taken to the washrooms. And the father had no choice, so obviously he took him. And while he was doing his business, the boy, the father waited outside restlessly that he wanted to go back. So the son noticed that. He said, "Why are you so restless?" He said, "Because I need to go back and listen to the discourse." And this boy, who seemingly had not heard the discourse because he was lost in his story book, said, "I'm so disappointed in you, father. Just now Swami told that Adgyani should not be attached to anything, including listening to the discourse, and you are attached to that. Were you not listening to what Swami spoke?" And the father, of course, was humbled in the wisdom of that son, which is only, who is only 6 years old. Now I'm thinking I must call all the children from the ashram to attend the discourses. Maybe I will achieve more with them than all of you sitting on the chairs. That's why it's called child is the father of man. Balavat is the word Ashtavakra uses. Be like a child. The yogi, the jnani, is like a child, spontaneous, natural, effortless, and honest. Call spade a spade. That's what it was told yesterday. He is not here to please somebody by using flowery speeches and ornate language. Because the child has nothing to gain, nothing to lose. At least at that point in time in life. But if you could be a child all through your life, then perhaps that's the best way of living this life. Be spontaneous, be effortless, be honest, be you, swastha, established in your true nature. So I was very happy to hear that. And I just felt that maybe next time when spiritual discourses are going on, I must allow some of these kids also. But I'll have to speak for a lesser time because, just sometimes their attention span is little less. But they understand better. Now we have enough examples from our scriptures. Garbha samskara, what we call it, when the baby is in the womb, we perform certain rituals. Because we believe once the soul enters the womb, the baby is capable of comprehending all that it hears or feels. So all the external stimuli reaches the baby. The baby, like Ashtavakra himself was, when he was in mother's womb, his father was chanting some mantras, practicing his regular studies. And the baby listened to what father was saying, and he spoke from the womb, it seems, and corrected his father for his pronunciations. And the father got very upset. All fathers are like that, like yesterday's father. Thinking that what is this baby who is not even born yet, it's still inside the womb, is trying to correct me who is a scholar. So the father, in his rage of anger, he cursed the baby Ashtavakra that he be born with 8 bends in the body. It's a bad curse. No father should do it, but fathers often do it. Look at Nachiketa's father. He even cursed him to die. So Ashtavakra was born with 8 crooked limbs, very ugly, but he was a great jnani. And he, in fact, redeemed his own father. How? Because father lost the debate to the other scholar Vandin, and the rule of the debate was that the winner will get whatever the prize, and the loser will have to go and drown himself in the ocean. So Ashtavakra, as a 13-year-old boy, when he heard that his father was in a way killed, in a way the father died because he lost the debate to Vandin, he requested his mother to allow him to go and debate with Vandin. And mother did not allow, of course, but he escaped somehow with his cousin. He came, and then he went and went about debating, and he won the debate. And then Vandin had to now drown himself in the sea. But that point in time, Vandin said that, see, I was not killing any of the great scholars. My father was performing a yajna in the heavens. And so I needed all of them to go and attend the yajna. I was sending them through the route of water because Varuna or water is my father. So he was sending them through the sea route. So he recalls all the people who had died in the sea and gives them the life back again and returns them to their families, Vandin, while he accepts the defeat from Ashtavakra. And Ashtavakra becomes the Raja Guru of Janaka Maharaja after that, the youngest ever. That was the background. So fathers are not always the wisest ones. That's how Ashtavakra himself proves that, right? And sometimes you have to accept the wisdom can come from anywhere. You can learn from anyone. That humility is what defines a true student, true learner, true seeker, that they should be willing to learn from anybody. There is a story that Adi Shankara was in Kashi. He was with his disciples, and there is a Chandala, the one who engages in burying or burning the bodies of the dead on the Kashi Ghat. He was a low-born kind of a person in terms of social caste system. Not really a caste system, but social categories. When that person happened to cross the path of Adi Shankara, all his disciples, they tried to shoo him away, ask him to, move away so that Adi Shankara can go. Because Adi Shankara is a greater one, he should not give way to somebody else. Others should give way to him. That was a mark of respect. But the Chandalas said, who should move? The body of this Chandala, which is low born, but I am not the body. Do you want the soul to move? But the soul is everywhere. So what should move? And Adi Shankara was very surprised with the wisdom of that so-called the low-born person, and he prostrated to him and apologized for the mistake of his disciples. That is how you can learn from anybody. Anyone can teach you wisdom. So keep your eyes and ears open and heart open most of all. And you will learn. You will learn from everyone. It's very, Kabir Das says, learn from your critics. निंदक नियरे राखिए आंगन कुटी छवाए बिन पानी साबुन बिना निर्मल करे स्वभाए. Which means keep your critics close to you. Even give them a small shelter in your own courtyard. Why? Because they will clean up your character without using soap and water. By continuously criticizing you, they will tell you how wrong you are. And if I look back, and I have learned that in the last 15 years, we have grown so much because we accepted positive criticism. Whenever there was a positive criticism that this is not right, this has to be done better, we took it in a positive spirit and kept on learning from there and improving ourselves. And where there was just destructive criticism, not constructive one, we ignored it. So we analyzed every criticism and tried to learn from there, and that's why we grew very fast compared to any other place. That is because of continuous positive and constructive criticism that we received. That is the way of Gyanis. They don't mind learning from anyone. But now that I realize that children are real Gyanis because they are not contaminated yet by the worldly desires. They are still themselves, they are still free. That is why I love spending time with either God or with nature, with animals or children. All are pure. God is pure, everybody knows. Nature is pure. The trees, the rivers, the mountains, the breeze, the flowers, the birds, This morning when I was reading the book, a cuckoo, was all itself. Went on cooing. And I was listening, and I would read a line and then it will coo again. Then I will sit down and listen to that sweet, melodious voice of the cuckoo. And I was thinking, so blissful that it is. Nobody is listening, or somebody is listening, it doesn't care. It has just got into what you call a kind of zone of its own, and just started singing all of a sudden. No shruti, no harmonium, no tabla, no audience needed. No mic, no stage. Just on a branch somewhere in some tree. And for some time, I really was mesmerized by the beauty of that sound. A perfect note. No two of its coos were different. I'm sure if you put a tuner, you will get the same note every single time. It means the control on its muscles, breath, frequency. Look at the perfection I thought in the cuckoo's song. It's after a so-called a bird's, even noise, if those who don't appreciate. But it was perfect. And I thought, how wonderful, how nature is so beautiful. Then I look at children. Just now we had a small video shoot for the video that is coming up on the glory of a guru. It's a general video about the guru and Shishya traditions of India. And every type of guru, from a regular academic teacher to a spiritual teacher. So I had one small shot coming up in that. And I went to shoot, and there were these kids from all 6th, 7th, 8th who were all crowding because they have a shot, they have to run, and I have to stand, some kind of a visual. All of them so curious, so excited, so spontaneous, so uninhibited. That was so wonderful to just stand amongst all of them. They're asking me, what did you eat and what did you do? They can ask me these questions. Most of you can't. They're like, did you have your breakfast? What did you have for breakfast? Whatever question I ask them, they ask me back. Spontaneous, uninhibited, natural, effortless. Balavat. That's why Ashtavakra did not use Balavat word, that Gyanis are like children, just like that. There is a great significance in whatever, every single shloka, every single word is chosen so very correctly to describe as far as possible. Of course, the state of that Gyani cannot be described, only can be understood by another Gyani is the final conclusion. But even otherwise, if you have to describe, they'll be like children. They'll be like the spontaneous cuckoos. They'll be like the flowers that simply bloom, whether somebody is watching or not watching. They'll be like the rivers that simply flow. They'll be like the breeze that simply blows. They'll be like the suns and the moon and the stars. They'll be just like God or the nature or the animals. That is the closest you can compare, because till you become Jnani, you can't understand the Jnani, but you can at least try to understand him through all these wonderful creatures around you, through the nature around you. And that is the idea. So I thought just I will share with you that how child or children are so easy for children to understand spirituality compared to the grown-up ones. So we studied yesterday the 80th shloka where he said heaven, hell and all these constructs of the society. Now, religion thrives on these ideas. You'll be punished if you do wrong. God will punish you, so be scared. And then they control the minds. That's why Karl Marx said religion is opium for the masses. Using religion, people have been hypnotized into believing in certain constructs of punishments and rewards, of heavens and hells, of gods that are forgiving and gods that are cruel and punishing. But Ashtavakra and Vedanta destroys all that. It says none of this is real. None of this is real, because wherever there is duality, it can't be real. Simple. Heaven and hell are dual, a happy and a sad place, so it cannot be real. There is only one, that is the reality. In that reality, there is no duality. So if anybody tries to sell you the idea of a dualistic religion or dualistic God, don't buy it. You say, I've read Ashtavakra Gita, I know it is not true. I believe there is only one. Of course, I experience duality because I am not yet matured in my spirituality. But don't use my vulnerabilities to your advantage by forcing me into believing a construct which is not true. Don't sell me religion. You can say that. Why? Because you have read Ashtavakra Gita. Others cannot. Others are dumbed into thinking that you have to follow this priest, this temple, this particular ritual, these many mantras, those many things. Only then God will be happy and bless you. Otherwise, you are gone. God is going to punish you for every single mistake of yours. And then they have, as I said, the description of hell in our own Garuda Purana of levels of hell, where everybody suffers differently. So you can imagine how much of nonsense has been peddled in the name of spirituality. And how many of us have been duped into believing that every one of it is true, and we are scared because fear and greed is the way of the mind. Stock markets, bull and bear, fear and greed. So either they scare you that you will be punished if you don't do this, or they will incentive or whatever, tempt you in thinking that if you do this, you are going to get some great reward. And the whole world, because they're stuck between greed and fear, they dance to the tunes of these sellers and peddlers of fake religion and spirituality. So many buyers of it. And when somebody tells the truth, called Vedanta Kesari, the lion of Vedanta, roars like Ashtavakra or Swami Vivekananda or Adi Shankara, people don't like it. People like rewards and punishments. That is why religion has been very carefully crafted to control the minds of people. And we are not talking religion over here. Did I tell about any god in this whole Ashtavakra sequence in the sense follow this god or a goddess or whoever? No. Follow the philosophy, which is everything is one. There is only one supreme truth of consciousness, and it is unsullied, pure, eternal, immortal, and every one of us in essence is that. Beyond bodies and minds, beyond all the dualities. How clear, how redeeming, how liberating is this thought, how empowering. It doesn't ridicule us as low beings, sinners and saints. No. It just tells you you are that, you are already that. You just have to unbecome all that which you are not. You have imagined yourself to be somebody. Give up your costumes and makeup. Don't get too engrossed in your roles on the stage. You are after all playing a part in a cosmic drama. But inside, the real being is your consciousness, which has no ideas of duality at all. That is the Ashtavakra. So, Swarga, Narka, don't fool me into it. Anybody else tomorrow tells you, do these things, and you go to Swarga, heaven after the birth, don't even go there. Or somebody scares you, you will go to Narka. If you do all these things, don't even go there. Your Narka is your own experience of the outcomes of doing wrong action. Your Swarga is your own experience of the joys that you reap out of good actions. Period. There is nothing beyond that. So he said, how can we speak about such a person, Bahunatra Kimuktena? What can we speak about the state of a person who has gone beyond these dualities, including the idea of religion, which is so very hypnotizing, and idea of rewards and punishments in religion, because he has yoga drishtya. He has got the vision of the yogi. He sees things differently. Where everybody sees ornaments, he sees the goal. With that, the next sloka, it is 1881 on page number 89. Continuing in the same tone of how the jnani is beyond the duality of the world, it says, Naivam prarthayate labham na alabham anushocati dhirasya shitalam chittam amrite naiva puritam. So beautiful. It says, he neither seeks gain. He doesn't go to temples and pray, please let my business double this year, triple this year, let me make a lot more profits, let me expand my territory. None of these ideas go to, he doesn't go to God for this. Na alabha manushochati, or when he makes a loss or a setback happens, he doesn't complain and dwell over it with sadness. He is free both ways. He neither goes seeking gains, nor he laments his losses. He says, whatever comes as part of my doing, I accept it as prasad. That is why I say prasada buddhi. Whatever temple prasadam we get, we accept it. We don't say, I don't like this one. Can you replace it with the other laddu? Now, some people are there, they're like that. They'll buy a laddu for 10 rupees and look at the neighbor's laddu and say, oh, he got a bigger one, I got a smaller one. Their minds are like that. But real devotee won't think. He will be happy, I got some prasadam, some tirtham and things like that. By the way, sometimes this nonsense of prasadam goes so far. I was watching some video. No, I get these news feeds, right? Because I don't have patience to read newspapers. So I get these shorts now. So quickly I look into some. One feed came, then in a temple, everybody was going and there was a spout-like thing from where they were collecting water and drinking, thinking it is the tirtham coming from the abhishekam. And later the priest clarified that it was the air conditioner's water, condenser's water. Now sometimes devotion goes to some other level. So priest told, please don't drink this. This is from the condensing unit of the air conditioner. That is where the water is coming from. But people are drinking heavily, thinking that this is a tirtham. So, sometimes foolishness goes that far. Anyways, what I'm saying is that they are not interested in these gains and losses. Gains happen by and by. If you do the right thing, you will get the right results. What is there? There is a law that governs the universe of karma. Do good karma, you get good results. You bad karma, bad results. So they don't care about how can I overcome or whatever, how can I surpass this idea of karma and get different results from what I am doing. Not possible. Then dhirasya, the discriminating one, shitalam chittam. His mind is quiet and peaceful. Shitalam means cool, of cool and quiet demeanor. Amrutenaiva puritam, as if it is filled with immortal nectar. Amruta means their hearts are full of that immortality as the feeling. Their minds are peaceful and calm, cool, and therefore they do not get affected both ways. If profits happen, good, God's wish. If losses happen, also it's fine, it's happened, let us deal with it. So that is why Krishna says all the time, Tan titikshasva bharata, he tells Arjuna. Yes, all these dualities of the world, agama paino anityam, they come and go, they are temporary. One day you will make profit, the next day you will make a loss. That is how the world is. Continuously you make profit. Why? Because you are a devotee of God. No, no guarantees. But people go for such things. So Krishna says, agama paino anityam. These come and go and they are not even true, they are not even permanent. So why you worry? Tan titikshasva bharata. Therefore just endure it. Just deal with it, just bear it. Why do you come and complain about these things? It is the nature of the world. One day will be good day, one day will be bad day. What is the point in coming and crying about it? It's not going to change anything. But the whole idea of religion has been, as I said, sold to us, saying go to God and He will solve your problems, make you profitable and deal with all your issues and solve all your... God is not here to do that. God is much greater than that. But unfortunately, because as I said, we are driven by either greed or fear, two ends of the rod, we only go by that. But that is not the real nature of the divine. That is not the reason why you should seek divine. That is very clear in this sloka. Because such a person's mind is so calm and peaceful, he accepts everything that comes by the way of natural process. Doesn't cry, doesn't complain, doesn't desire, nor repel. Everything is okay. That idea of being okay with everything is the most beautiful idea of being a Vedantin. The next sloka is 82, which is on page number 92. You see, it says, Na shantam stauti nishkamo, na dushtam api nindati, samadukha sukhastuptaha, kinchit akrityam na pashyati. He says, krityam na pashyati. He says, the shantam who is a good person, let us say, na stauti nishkamo, the desireless one does not praise the good people to please them or to, butter them, as they say. He doesn't do that. He doesn't need to do that. Why he should do? He is satisfied. He is not gaining anything or seeking anything from anyone. So he does not praise the virtuous, nor he criticizes nindati dushtamapi, the wicked ones. He keeps quiet. No comments policy. How is this person? No comments. How is that person? No comments. That person, I'll tell you about him, he looks like this, but behind he is like that. We get so excited about commenting on people. As Socrates said, the cheap minds discuss people. The average minds discuss incidents. And the great minds discuss ideas. But you only think for yourself how much time you discuss people and how cheap is the mind. Because you get very interested. You know about you and some juicy gossip about somebody. Carry rumors and scandals. That's not the job of the tongue. But we do that. Similarly, somebody is better than us. We become almost devotees and followers and some kind of mad fan following. So he says, this man does not praise the virtuous unnecessarily, nor ridicule the wicked without a reason. He doesn't need to do that. He is very quiet. Samadukha sukha triptaha. In happiness and in sorrow, he is triptaha, he is satisfied. Okay, sorrow has come also, fine, it has come. Yesterday I was happy, today I am sorry, sad, that's fine. It is a part of it. That's why I ask people, when something goes right, they don't ask, why all these good things are happening to me, God? Why are you being so nice to me? When something goes wrong, why all these bad things are happening to me? Where are you, God? Or do you even exist? Why don't we ask those questions when things are happening good for us? Why don't we go to God and say, why all this good to me? Give it to somebody else. I have enough. We don't say that. We want more and more and more of nice things. And bad things, we want to get rid of it. So what's the point? This man is sukha dukkha samah. He's equal in both and truptaha, satisfied. Ever satisfied. Like when you have had a good meal, after that even somebody gives you the favorite sweet that you like, you will refuse it. Because you are full. You say, no, I don't need it now. That way. Kinchit krityam na pashyati. Kinchita means anything krityam, to be done, na pashyati. He doesn't see it. Oh, I need to do this to be happier. I need to do this to avoid sorrow. Because the whole worldly existence is all about dukkha, nivrutti and sukha prapti. To get rid of sorrow and to gain happiness. That is the twin goal of life. But these people don't have those lower goals. They are okay. Whatever comes by virtue of the natural process, they accept it. One day will be good, one day will be bad, one day will be gain, one day will be loss. As long as you are not the doer or enjoyer, none of this affects you. When you think you are the doer, because of you gains are happening, you get excited. And when you realize that because of your mistake, the losses have happened, you get depressed. Because of your doership, you suffer, not because of the outcomes. Outcomes are always dual. But doership is the reason why you associate with and swing this way or that way. So that is the beauty of this shloka, that it tells you that you are so satisfied that little gain or little loss doesn't make any sense to you. It says part of life. Cold and heat, winters and summers is a part of life. So this is a part of life, so they don't really get too involved. Next shloka, 83, page number 94, which says, Dhiro na dveshti samsaram atmanam na didrakshati harsha marsha vinirmukto namruto nacha jivati. Again, very difficult shloka to understand because somebody can misunderstand. If there are any adhamadham adhikaris sitting in the audience, they will totally misunderstand. What is the thing? Dhiro na dveshti samsaram. He doesn't hate the world. What a silly world, petty world, full of duality, garbage, ugly people. People who are selfish. There is so much of misery. There are people who write to me like this. Why God would create such a miserable world where people are dying in wars and conflicts, children are being orphaned, women are being, criminal things are happening for women, families are breaking apart, environment is degrading, water bodies are being poisoned, politicians are ruling the roost. Why such a world God would create? They keep hating it. This man has no problem. He says that's how the world is. It goes through its cycles. People used to say, when I joined Puttaparthi, people would say, why Sathya Sai Baba did not join freedom movement, they were asking me. Like Gandhiji, some Gandhians were there. So they were like newcomers and they were like, if he was really that kind of a patriot in 1947, whenever, he must be 20 years old, why he did not go and join the freedom struggle? How do we explain? He is not you and me. India is not the only country. Everything belongs to him, everyone belongs to him. And he sees things from a different angle. How many wars India has faced, how many times we have lost and won. Not everybody needs to go and join, not everybody has the same role to play. But he is the greatest patriot because after that he helped so many people to rise up in life. You see, so there are people who have very limited understanding, who will comment like this, that you are, so there is nothing called hating the world for these people, and also nothing called seeking the Atman, that is seeking the self. Now you will say, where is their goal then in life? Do they have a purpose at all? You say they don't hate the world and want to run away from it. Not they seek God and run towards it. So what are they doing in life? They're doing nothing, they're simply being. Whatever comes by virtue, as I said, of natural dispositions, they accept it and are happy. Harsha amarsha, happy and sadness, happiness and sadness, they're free from that. Harsha is actually celebrations. Vimarsha is like depressions. They're free from that. Vinirmuktaha, namruto nacha jivati, as if they are neither dead nor alive. See, this is where I said, Adhamadikari will think, they must be ghosts only because only they cannot be dead or alive. No, they live as if they are not living. They are not affected by the death also. They are not afraid of death also. So who can be not happy and not sad also? Only the one who is neither alive nor dead, in very physical parallels. But Ashtavakra uses that beautiful analogy saying, they are neither dead nor alive, as if unaffected by anything. So that is the kind of life they live. It only means that they are not afraid of death. And they're not seeking to live long forever, longevity. Both are okay with them. Tomorrow if death knocks on their door, they'll embrace it happily. And tomorrow, day after, if they recover from the sickness and continue to live, so be it. They are not affected by either, because their minds are always absorbed in that original truth, which is their deathless, immortal consciousness. It's a flow. Bulbs may get fused and light may stop. Electricity did not die. Fan's coil may get burnt and it will stop rotating and breeze may stop. But the electricity did not die. That is the idea. So they identify themselves with the electricity, not the fan and the bulb. Therefore, they are never scared of death, nor they have desire to live on and on and on. See, both do not exist in such a person. Can you imagine how these people must be? At least when we are living, we want to live as long as we can. People work so hard. Now this longevity and wellness and all these things is a big business. Billions of dollars are being spent for people who want to look younger, live on forever, all kinds of treatments and therapies, medicines, supplements, surgeries. How many things are happening in the name of live longer and look younger? How much is happening? But these people are not affected by that. With age, your body will decline, decay, and die someday. It's a natural process. Why fight that? That is how they are. But does it mean they don't take care of their body, ignore it, saying after all it's a body, body is not real, Malinamu Kampu, this, that? No, they are not even ridiculing their body. What is this? A garbage bin full of feces and flesh and urine. No, they don't think of body like that also. Body is body. It's a vehicle. That's about it. Don't give more importance than that. So they don't give importance to death, nor they give importance to living on. As long as they're alive, they do what is they've got to do, and then they're done. When they die, they go. Because their minds are absorbed in the greater idea that they are the consciousness, and consciousness does not die. Like energy converts into matter. Matter dies, energy does not die. It goes back to its original state. All energy is matter and matter is energy, right? E is equal to mc square. That was the fundamental equation. That all energy can be converted into matter and matter can be converted back into energy. Conservation of energy is the principle. Energy can never be created nor be destroyed. It always remains the same. It only changes the forms. That's the basic physics principle. That's the same spiritual principle. Consciousness always remains the same. Nothing adds, nothing deletes from it. And when things die or people die or animals and creatures die, consciousness does not die. Consciousness is a continuum. That is there. Like the screen does not die, the pictures die. That is the whole idea. The space does not die, the buildings die. Consciousness does not die, the bodies die. So they are unaffected by death or not. You have to really check your spiritual quotient. Now that is a new thing. You had all these intellectual quotients and other emotional quotients. And now this new thing has come up called spiritual quotient, And what is that? So many criteria will be there. How you balance yourself and this and that, your emotional stability, your inclination towards meditation, spirituality. But for me, only one question to understand your spiritual quotient. Are you afraid of death? If you say, yeah, then I know you don't have, your spiritual quotient is very poor. Because death is the very idea that you are body. And spirituality is the very idea that you are not the body. So if you're afraid of death, it means you are not fully into it. Some people asked me also, as long as you are there, all this is going on. What about these things after you are not there? We had this Atma Samiksha, all these missionaries. So these young missionaries have these fears. What are the fears? Swami, as long as you're there, our parents say Swamiji is there, he will look after you. We fully understand, we believe him, we have complete faith. And he looks after you people better than we can ever do as parents. So we have no problem. But in few years from now, Swamiji won't be there. Then who is going to look after you? You will still be there because you're younger than Swamiji. You'll outlive him. Then what about your future? What about your safety? What about? So these questions were lingering in the minds of the small young, Tyagajivis who were in making. And these questions were some of theirs, maybe some from their parents or relatives who give unsolicited advice. Somewhere they borrowed these ideas. They asked, I said, if this body was the reason why things were happening over here, then even today you should not be too secure. Because body will disappear any moment. Today you are there, tomorrow is not there. Who is to guarantee that everything will be same tomorrow? Nobody knows. So don't be too arrogant. That is what Gautam Buddha, He saw a person who was sick, he saw a person who was dying. And he asked, what's going on? So I'm not going to be young forever. I'm not going to live forever. I thought I'm going to be forever. No, you're not going to be, laughed the charioteer. He said, oh, so disease, decay, death, all these are for real. The charioteer said, yes, of course, prince. I'm afraid that you don't know these things. Because he was not allowed to know, because his father, Shuddhodana, was told by one of the soothsayers or astrologers when he was born that your son is a great, because he was born after much prayers. He didn't have a heir. So when he was born, the father was very particular that my son should become the next king. But this astrologer told the father that your son has a great chart. Stars are very, very well aligned. He will be an emperor, Chakravarti, but not of the world. He will rule the hearts of people, but not rule the lands. Father was shocked. He said, why? He said, because he will become a renunciate. Astrology says that. And father got so very worked up, he said, never expose him to anything that can trigger a spiritual idea in him. Immerse him in all the pleasures of the world. Let him not know that anything exists beyond these bounds of this palace. He should enjoy pleasure and never get to know what else happens in life. But one day he escaped the palace, confines of the palace, went on his own little tour and saw all these sights, came back distraught, crestfallen, and also curious. And if this all so permanent, then why are we hankering after all this? Why are we running behind these things? Is there something beyond this? What is the solution to all the misery? He asked these questions and searched, went out in the search of the answers, and finally found the answers to himself. That is how he became the Buddha. So these people, Mrityu and Jivana is just a drama for them, and a character enters and character exits. That's it. You put on the costume, you remove the costume. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya. Navani grihnati naroparani. Like the costume that was worn out, the man gives it up, takes the new costume. Tatha shariraya vihani jirnani. Vihaya jirnani. That the same way, the whole body is given up. Navani sanyati anyani dehi. It takes up another body. There is no need for you to be stuck with this body. Body is only a garment. See, this idea has been told to us any number of times. We all know theoretically. But if really death knocks on our door, then only we know that we don't understand it really. So, if you are afraid of death, you are nowhere near Ashtavakra Gita. You are miles away. You are listening, but you don't understand. Fearlessness of death is the first kind of fearlessness that liberates you. The one who is not afraid of dying, who can stop such a person? Is unstoppable. Because with death, seemingly everything ends. But for him, death is not an issue at all. Unstoppable, such a person is. Because death is only a vesture of life. So this extent of conviction is what a jnani has. Therefore, the jnani is unaffected in all these situations, including of life and death. So idea is that they are not attached to these things, including their own death and life is not the problem. As long as God gives you, that's why we chant the Shanti mantra, no? As long as God gives us the strength, we shall worship God. That is the mantra. In mantras is mentioned. As long as God decides we should live, we shall live. After that, we will give up the body. What is there? We are not the body after all. It's like changing a house, changing garments, or changing a car. That's about it. The next sloka on page number 96, 1884. This is one level lower than death. First fear is death. Am I going to die? What about all these I have accumulated? The next fears. Ashtavakra line lists it out. Nisneha putra daradau nishkamo vishayeshu cha nischintah swasharirepi nirasha shobhate buddha. Nisneha putra daradau. He is unattached to whom? Putra means the children. Dara means the spouse. He is unattached to them. We live as long as we live, and after we are dead, we are all gone any which ways. These relationships end. But in the last life, we don't know what we were. This life, we are this. Next life, we don't know what we will be. So they are not more than that. They are like actors coming together to perform a play. In some serials, you see, the one who is the mother. In the next serial, she will be the wife. In another serial, she might become a daughter. I shouldn't say, but some of these heroes were there. They were not affected by that, right? So the idea is that because they know this is just a character, this is not real. So they can act happily. This is the idea. So Putra Padara, all the sons, children, your relatives, your wife, everybody is just an actor together on this stage. As long as we are together, we shall do a good job of it. Raise good children, live a good life in the society, serve the society, serve God. Good enough. Beyond that, why there should be attachment? Nishkamo Vishayeshu cha. They are even desireless of any Vishaya. Vishaya means all the sensory objects and material things. They are not attached to any of these things. Whatever is there, it's fine. Not there also, it's fine like that. And Nischintaha, they are without any worries. Nischintaha. Swasharirepi nirasha. They are not even attached to their bodies. Swasharirepi nirashaha. They are not desirous. I should look beautiful. I should look nice, handsome. I should be attractive. I should live forever. I should never age. I should never become old. These ideas don't occur to them. Because body is prone to all these things. Body, 6 phases of body. Aste, jayate, vardate. Then viparinamate, apakshiyate, mriyate. These are the 6 phases of body. It is there, it is born, then it grows, it reverses, decays and dies. So there is a process. You can't stop that process. So what is the use of fighting the process? The question is unnecessary. Go with the flow. Yes, keep it healthy. I'm not saying don't keep it healthy. You have to keep it healthy because that's your responsibility. Through that body only you can do any good activity. Don't abuse it. At the same time, don't be so attached to it. This is the idea. Swasharirepi nirashaha shobhate buddhaha. These jnanis, shobhate. They are resplendent, they are beautiful in their ways. Because they are unattached to anything. The wife is not there, dead. What can we do? Her time has come, she is gone. Children, their children died suddenly, their time has come, they have gone. You are sick, you are going to die. My time will also come, I will also go. Their attitude is so cool in all situations. They are not even little affected or shaken by any of these losses because they were never attached to it in the first place. They knew it's a part and process. In this lifetime, we all become these like actors coming together to perform a play. In the next lifetime, we don't know who will be. See, some of them go for this hypnotherapy and all. That is a new fad right now. What do? They hypnotize them and take them to their past lives, mainly to find answers to some of the questions that are intriguing them in this life. And then they find out in their past lives that he only was the brother of his own wife. Now look at his plight in this life. Or they find out that his daughter only was his wife in the previous life. And now how will he look at the daughter in the same way? Or his mother only has become his sister in this life. They find out all kinds of things. Then they come back very confused, saying, now how do we behave with each other? I said, who asked you to go and dig the past? No, but I did not have answer. Why my wife is always so angry with me? Why my husband is like that with me? Though I went to find answers to all these questions in hypnotherapy and such past life regression therapy and stuff like that. They come back confused. If you find good answers, it's okay. If you find bad answers, you'll start hating them even in this lifetime, right? Sometimes it happens. So the idea is that they were actors in the previous drama, they're actors even now. To that extent only. So should you not love them? Should you not care for them? Should you abandon them? No. Look after them as a responsibility, take care of them. Whatever it demands for you to do as a father or brother, sister, mother, do your part. You are playing a role, play it well for the joy of playing it. Be a good father, good mother, good sister, good husband. But not beyond that. Everybody is going to go at some point in time. To that extent only we can be attached. Not more than that. This is very important because relationships are another drag. Our own death is the biggest fear. Then all the relationships, if we lose them, oh, we are so crestfallen, we can't live with them. What is going on is the question. Because they have never been spiritual. See, they have no idea of what spirituality is. They have never been trained. That's why spirituality has to be taught. At least you will have some sense in your head. You will behave insanely like this. For the sake of property, killing each other. For the sake of gambling, borrowing money and then killing your own kith and kin. This is where I am coming from. Attachment. Those are also attachments. That's why he says, Putra Putra Dharaudo, whatever, Nishkamo Vishayeshu cha. To other material things also is not attached. Gambling, drinking, money, wealth, women, nothing. They are very free. And Nischintaha, they are not even attached to their own body. What to talk about attaching to others? Ramana Maharshi's body was being eaten up by insects. People came to rescue him. And he put the insect back and says, eat my child, eat. Unaffected. That is the idea. Can people be like this is the question you should ask. Now, I can't be like this, you can't be like this, but there are people who have been like that. Unaffected, untouched. This is the idea of these people's nature. The Gyanis are like that. That's why they're always free. They're unafraid of anything. What can you scare them with? You lose your family, you lose your wealth, you lose your name, you lose your body itself, life itself. They said, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I know as long as we are together, we look after each other. As long as body is there, I will take care of it. After it's gone, I'm not bothered. See, that kind of attitude these people have. Some amazing liberation is that. The next sloka 1885 on page number 98, which says, Tushtihi sarvatra dhirasya yatha patitavartinaha swachhandam charato deshan anyatra astamita shayinaha, which means Tushtihi sarvatra dhirasya. They are always happy, contented with whatever is coming their way. And yatha patitavartinaha, whatever comes their way, as it comes, as it unfolds, they deal with it without any demands. Life, wherever it takes them, they go with it. They don't fight, they don't resist, they don't challenge it. They accept and go with it. Then, swachandam charato, they are freely moving around. No bounds, freely moving around in the desha, in all the places. Anyatra, wherever they have to go, they go around. Deshan, yatra, wherever. Astamita means when there is dusk, when sun sets, shaina, they sleep wherever they are. I mean, they're like the sannyasis who have no home, no hearth, no address, no location. Every place is there, everyone is theirs. Their life is like that. I'm not saying physically they are doing that. Mentally they are like that. Physically also they can be like that. Those who have given up home and hearth and go about doing things. Wherever the night falls, they sleep. When the sun rises, they wake up and continue their journey. And wherever their heart takes them, they go. What about your home? What about your food? What about your family? They're unattached to all this. Buddha could not have done that, right? If he was attached to his family and son and all the material comforts, he wouldn't have found anything in his life. Wherever life took him, wherever that curiosity took him, he went. So these people are like that, unaffected. I was thinking about it, if somebody asks me, where do you come from? It's very difficult for me to answer. Where do you come from the location on the earth? Not from, I come from God and all that stuff. Right? The idea is that on the earth, so I think, I'm a Telugu, but our grandparents shifted long back to Chhattisgarh, which was Madhya Pradesh earlier. So am I a Hindi person? No, because I also have some Telugu content in me. So how long did we live in Madhya Pradesh? Only for 11, 12 years. After that, what did you do? We kept on moving. Even in Madhya Pradesh, we moved 5 houses because company quarters, every 3 years they'll give you a new quarters, you shift. So no particular location. Then what did you do? We came out to Puttaparthi. In Puttaparthi, what did you do? I went to Whitefield, studied for 3 years, then Puttaparthi, studied for 4 years, then went to Bangalore, lived for 5 years, then whole around the world, in Mudanalli to the world. Now, which is your actual home and what is your background, if they ask me? I have no answers. I belong to everyone, I belong everywhere. That's my answer. I have houses everywhere, I have people everywhere. Aniketana. That is what Kuvempu said. O Nanna Chetana, Aguni Aniketana. Oh, my consciousness, become unhoused. You don't belong to a place or some people. You are free, ever free. The idea of ever free. So are you an Indian? Yes, I am. But are you only an Indian? No. I am a world citizen. Do you have a family? Yes. Do you have only this as your family? No. All are family. Do you have an address? Yes. Is this the only address? No. Everything is my address. See, this idea of freedom, Swachandacharinaha, freely they move. Nobody can tell me, don't undertake this tour, don't go to their house, don't undertake this project. Who can tell me? And why should they? I'm free, I'm not bound to anything or anyone. That is the idea of the Gyanis. That's why they do so much good to the world. Vasantavat lokahritam charantaha. Like Vasanta Ritu, they keep moving around in the world. Like the spring season, they bring joy to everyone. That is their job. And wherever the night falls, that is their bed, that is their rest for the night, that is their home. Next morning, they move on and do next things. So physically is one way, but mentally also they are like that. They don't get attached to a place. That's why when I came back after 3 months tour, I honestly told everybody in the discourse, people were saying 3 months you were away and it was felt so long. I just felt that I left yesterday and I'm back today. I don't remember that I was away for 3 months. And everybody was disappointed. Look at him, how rude he is. We are all emotional here, and he's like, I don't care. That's unfair. I told, no, but I'm honest. Not that I don't care, not that I'm rude, but I didn't feel that distance, I didn't feel the separation. Because everywhere I'm at home, everyone is mine, everything is okay. This idea only jnanis have, no others. Others are very particular. Oh, I can come and go, but I have, this is my place. This is where I belong. This is my address. These are the things I do. This is the things I eat. They're very, very tight about it. You touch it, move a thing. I know people, go to their home. If you move a thing from here to there, hell will break loose. Who moved this pen from here to there? Put it back in its place. Okay, okay, put it back. There are people like that, so attached. And imagine if you build your own house, the attachment is tremendous. That's why if you have your own family, the attachment is tremendous. If you don't have a house, you live in rented house, at least attachment is little less. You're only attached to that pieces of furniture that you carry around everywhere, at best. Now furniture also can be rented. Now people don't have family. They're less attached. Family people are definitely. You marry somebody, at least you're marrying somebody from somewhere. Once you have a child of your own, the attachment is tremendous. Putra Pautra Dara, that's why it's written. Nisneha Putra Dara Dau. Very big attachment. Your children is the biggest attachment in the world, according to me, if it's your own. But I also have children. I'm not attached to any one of them. They're all mine. I love them. All are growing well. But there is no attachment in my love. But can somebody who has his own child be unattached, saying, it's all right, I'll treat them equal as everybody else? No, viralo. Very rare to find a person. How much ever you say, that much extra attachment will be there. That is the idea. These people are, even if they're family people, even if they are business people, even if they're having their own assets and properties, they're unattached. So it's easy for me because I don't have anything. It's more difficult for you to be on this path because you have so many things. That's why I tell Tyaga Jivana is very easy. Bhoga Jivana is very tough. It appears that Bhoga Jivana is easy and Tyaga Jivana is tough. Bhoga Jivana means a regular sansara, grahastha. Looks like easy, comfortable. But if you want to reach spiritual heights, that is the tougher one. Because you have so many obstacles to overcome. Tyaga Jivana is like an open, free lane. No traffic. At least your troubles are less if you're on the road. That is full of obstacles. Potholes, pitfalls, turns and twists. So many attachments. You tell me, how is it possible for somebody to be unattached to his own family, children and his own properties? Impossible. Some little attachment will be there. You have to be a Buddha to walk away. That doesn't happen to everybody. So, idea is that even though they live in the world does not live in them. 86, the page number 102. It says, Patatu udetu va deho nasya chinta mahatmanaha swabhava bhumi vishrantim vismrita ashesha samsrutehe, which means whether the body rises or falls, same concept is continuing because body is now the center of the whole attention in these shlokas because we are very attached to the bodies. So when the body rises, becomes healthy, young, bright, strong, or falls, the second half of our life, decays, declines, dies. So both sides, the cycle of body. Na asya chinta mahatmana, these great ones don't worry. They don't bother. Why? Because they know this is a part of the process. I was a baby, I became a man, now I'm a middle-aged man, tomorrow I'll be an old man, day after I'll be dead. That is the process. So they don't struggle, they don't fight, they don't worry about it. Chinta. They don't worry about it. So what do? Swabhava bhumi vishranti. They're resting on the ground of their true nature. That's why they're not worried. It's an analogy. It's a kind of a way to say that they as if they're resting on a solid ground. Therefore, they are not shaky. What is the solid ground? Fundamental is that I am self. Swabhava. They're absorbed in their true nature, so they're unaffected by the changes in the body. Bodies come and go for them. And vismrita, they forget all the other things. Why? Because they are fundamentally rooted in their true consciousness. So all the things of the world they forget. That all these existence is real, they don't care, they don't remember. Oh, you look so old. All right, this is age. I am this much age, so I'll be looking like this. I can't look any younger. But you see, if somebody old man comes and or old woman comes and tells, They'll say, you look so young and handsome. You should see the smile, ear to ear smile they'll give you. They feel so happy that I'm looking younger than my age. Everybody feels happy. Why? Because we are attached to the body. We don't say it, but we are. But somebody says, what is this? What have you done to yourself? You look like an old lady. You're just so young and you look so old. That's it. Depression will start. You look older the next day. Why? Because you're so actually saying that this is our identity, right? This is how we identify ourselves. If somebody says, who are you? You'll, in a picture, if you say, where are you? You'll naturally point to your body. Because that is how it's been designed. But these people are very clever. Body is only the house in I'm living. I am the indweller, Dehi, not the Deha. They're very clear. And Bhagavan used to give discourses. Dehi, Deham Kadu, I am not the body, I am the indweller. Everybody will clap, thunderous claps across the hall. But at the end, he didn't look at me, he didn't call me for interview, he didn't talk to me, he didn't pay any attention. Why? Who didn't pay attention? The body didn't pay attention. The body did not talk to you. The body didn't call you for interview. The body did not speak. But the indweller is always with us, you. Just as your indweller and that indweller, everything is same. No, we say, but we don't understand. That's why we again get stuck in the body thing. And that is why this bhakti around this fanatism of forms and names is very unnerving to me. I get scared thinking, my God, another cult, another set of mad devotion, and then this will lead to orthodoxy, then extremities, blind superstition, and some kind of a madness around that one form and name, and they'll become angry with others. That's why Shaivites fought with Vaishnavites, Shaktyas fought with Shaivites, Ganapatyas fought with Vaishnavites, all kind of things. All kinds of things have happened. People have butchered each other. Even in Hindu religion, forget about other religions, that you try to convert people, obviously there are wars. You call it crusade, you call it jihad, you call it any nonsense. But there are people who are like that. And within Hinduism itself, so much of fight and war. How many people are persecuted, killed, murdered because they were not following their God. So this fanaticism around bhakti, mad mood of bhakti is very dangerous. That's why I'm slowly trying to dissuade people from depending on me as a name and form. And dwell more on the Vedantic idea of who we all are. Otherwise I would have been teaching bhakti. That is not the idea. That is not the idea. It has to be Vedantic idea. That is why it said, Karmani Chitya Shuddhyartam Ekagrartham Upasana Mokshartham Brahma Vidyanam Iti Vedanta Dindima. For purifying your intellect, do seva, do good actions. For stabilizing your intellect, your buddhi, do sadhana, upasana, some worships. But to truly attain moksha, liberation from all the bondages of I and mind, study Vedanta. There is no other way, it says. That is why I am very insistent that we should study Vedanta. And not Bhakti Sutras, not create songs and dance around me. So that is the idea. Slowly, steadily, you must get out of these names and forms and this worship of this. Because respect the form and name. Because it is a guru, it has guided you, respect it. But don't get madly influenced so much that you are guru, that is the only way. It cannot be that way. That cannot happen. So this man is not bothered where the body is going up and down, youth or old age, and because he's stayed steadily resting on the self as his ultimate permanent truth. So he's unaffected by all this. Now, next look, 87, which says, Akinchanaha kamacharo nirdvandva chinna samshayaha asaktaha sarvabhaveshu kevalo ramate buddhaha. So beautiful. Each shloka is like somebody is pouring honey in my ears. Akinchanaha. For him, nothing exists, nothing matters. Kamacharo, he moves around as he pleases. Because nobody can bind him with an idea that, you need this, so come to me. You don't need that, run away from this. He is free, Kamacharo. As per his wish, he moves around. Nirdvandva Chinna Samshaya. He has no duality. Dvandva means I want this, I don't want this. I like this, I don't like this. These are mine, those are not. These ideas don't exist. Chinna Samshaya, because all his doubts have been destroyed. What are the doubts? Am I the body really or I am not the body? Such doubts don't exist for him. Are these my people or not my people? Those doubts don't exist for him because he sees the one truth. He understands that, experiences that one truth, that we are all one and the same in the divinity. So he is not affected by the duality. So all his doubts have vanished. Then asaktaha, he is unattached. Unattached. Sarva bhaveshu, in all kinds of feelings. In all kinds of situations and feelings, he is unattached. Kevalo ramate budhe, in his aloneness. Kevala means the only one and the only, or the one who is alone. Ramate buddha, he is enjoying himself. Some people are scared of aloneness. They call it loneliness. They feel lonely because for them their happiness comes from people and activities and incidences around. Whereas these people, unaffected. They don't need anybody to make them happier and better than what they already are. So they are kevalo. They are alone and they are happy. Like a baby in the cradle, just laughing, giggling, kicking hands, legs. And somebody who sees, what is this? What is the baby laughing about? Who knows? Laughing at us, basically. Look at all these, my foolish parents. Is happy, joyful. So they are like that. Kevalo, aloneness. See, very important word. Why? We are so scared of being lonely. One of the questions, other question that Tyagajivi Atma Samiksha sessions was, at the end we will all become lonely. Because we don't have family, we don't have children, we don't have grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, and the friends and the kith and the kin and the neighbors and all the social structure around us, we'll become alone. We'll become lonely, and then what will happen? I told them, if you marry and you have children and family and friends and neighbors, I cannot guarantee you that you will not be lonely at the end. Probably you will be more lonely there. Because even in your house, nobody will be talking to you. Nobody will care whether you are alive or dead, because you are no use to anybody now. You are an old hag who bothers everybody with every little thing. Who wants to talk to you? You will be lying in one room, in a corner, just like a piece of furniture. You might be more lonely in a family, but in this mission, you can never be lonely. These kids will chase you till your grave. Sir, I want this. Sir, I want that. They will bug you till you go to grave. Because they are all the time with you. You are never done in this mission. How can you be lonely? I told them. You can be alone if you decide to. Okay, please don't bother me for the next 3 hours, observing silence and some aloneness, some solitude. Please don't come and bother me. That's all you can achieve in this mission. Loneliness is not possible, I said. Because somebody or the other is always around you. In a family, you cannot guarantee. I have seen families where the old people have been like just dumped into a room, like a storeroom. The same man who built the house, gave education, looked after his family, is been relinquished or whatever, it is been relegated to one corner room somewhere. Once in a while, people peep in just to keep the food and, have a word or two and come back. Nothing more than that. I've seen all these things. How badly they are treated when they are of no use to their families. And what is the guarantee even in a samsara that people will stay with you till the end? People may die on the way, or they may leave you at the end. There was one man who was in Puttaparthi. So when I met him, he would tell, I'm so proud and I'm so happy. He's living alone all by himself. My wife passed away and he's alone. I said, where are your children? He said, I have 3 children. The first one is a software engineer or something in America. The second one is a doctor or something in UK. The third girl is something else in some Singapore. So I said, nobody lives with you. Then he thought, oh really, yes, nobody lives with me. But he was foolishly proud about the achievement of having sent away all his children to great positions. But he is living alone. If tomorrow he dies alone in his apartment, nobody would know. But foolishness, that you think all this is, the trappings of the world will help you. No guarantees anywhere, no guarantees. But if you are selfless, it's a guarantee that you will never be lonely. Because people will always flock to you for experiencing that selfless love from you. Till the end of your life, you are never going to be alone. Ask these Tyagajivis, they are never alone. Either they have themselves for each other, or they always have some children or youngsters coming in some activity. They are never alone. But in houses, I have seen old people being alone and lonely and depressed. I have seen it in many, many households. So the idea is that when you are pure, when you are selfless, when you have no desires and no attachments, you can never be lonely. Kevalo you are. You are in solitude, you are in your aloneness, and it's beautiful. I crave for it, that aloneness. At times I feel like running away and being alone like that. but it's not given to me. So whichever way, you have to be happy. That's what Ashtavakra says. Ramate Buddha, they are always in state of joy. They are not bothered. And their doubts about what is real, what is unreal is all destroyed. Vidyate hridayagantischa chidyate sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tashmin dishte paravare, says Mundagopanishad. For such a person, all his doubts are gone. Hridaya granthi we call. Knots of the heart have been cut asunder. Chidyate sarva samshayaha. Chidyante sarva samshaya means all their doubts have been destroyed. They have no doubt this is real or not real. They clearly know world is unreal. So they are not going to chase shadows. And kriyante chasya karmani. All their karmas are as if destroyed or declined or diminished. Because they don't create any more karma. They are not the doers. Even if they are super busy, no more karmas are happening to them. Tasmin drishte paravare. When they see the higher self, this is what happens to them. This is the message from Mundaka Upanishad. So the idea of all these relationships and thinking that they are going to be around you and you will have a happy, jolly ending, no guarantee. And now dementia is increasing every time. Imagine, you being alone is one thing, but your people, you not being able to remember also who these people are around you. That's even worse, right? It's a huge problem. Now dementia is setting in as early as 55, 60 years. And they're trying to research and find out why this is happening. But I have met people, my Swami home is there in Singapore. Those people don't remember anything. Half the time they're not even aware that they're sitting in this home. You get my point. Anything can change. What's the point in being attached to anyone or anything? It can change anytime. The next sloka is 88 on page number 107, which says, Nirmamah shobhate dhirah samaloshtasma kanchanaha subhinna hrudagrantihi vinirdhuta rajastamaha. It says, Nirmamaha, they are unattached. Shobhate dhirah, they are effulgent and radiant and beautiful as they are because they are unattached to anyone. So they are always happy, smiling, of pleasant demeanor. Sama loshtashma kanchanaha, clump of clay, stone or gold, everything is same to them. They don't differentiate. This is gold, this is precious. This is stone, this is useless. That is only mud, earth, clay. This is of no good. None of these ideas. The idea is that they see everything as equal. Subhinna hridaya granthi. Why? Because their knots of the heart, the doubts and their ignorance have been completely subhinna hridaya granthihi. They have been cut completely. Like little doubt is still lingering. No, not at all. Absolutely clear and convinced the world is not real. Absolutely convinced. Not theoretically convinced. That is why Vinirdurta Rajastama, they have shaken off all kinds of ideas of Raja, Tama and all these things, the ego and ignorance and things like that. They're not passion. Raja means passion, Tama means ignorance. They have gone above the passions of the world which drive us this direction and that direction, and the ego that attaches to everything and decides that this is mine. All these ideas they have abandoned. Why? Because their doubts in their hearts have been completely dispelled. The knots of the heart they call in our scriptures, three things: avidya, kama, karma. Avidya means ignorance, kama means desires, karma means action. These are the three knots of the heart they call it. Out of ignorance we develop desire. Out of desire we do actions. And this goes on in a loop. One action leads to next desire leads to next action. So this continuously runs on the loop. So that all that is gone for these people. Why? Once for all, completely cut away. Not like some bit of it is left. Everything completely is gone. They are completely clear and convinced. Therefore, they are nirmamaha. Therefore, they have no attachments whatsoever. Because they have no idea, no desires, no ego. And for them, earth or stone or gold or anything, everything is same. There was a couple which had retired and they wanted to go to Vanaprastha ashrama, means leaving the family behind. Now they have go to the forest, it seems. So as they were going, suddenly the husband found some piece of gold lying in the dust. So the husband thought, my wife is coming behind. We have now abandoned everything. Now if she sees the piece of gold, how attracted she would be. So let me not let her see. So he kicked some dust onto the gold so that it is covered and the wife wouldn't see it. But wife saw what the husband was doing. And then she told, oh husband, why did you do that? He said, oh, I was worried that you would see the gold and you will get attracted to it. He said, you still see the difference between dust and gold. You are not even ready for Vanaprastha. That is the clarity. I'm like women and gold. It is like since the creation began, they have been attached. But the wife says, you saw the difference between the dust and the gold. It means you still have that loka drishti, you still have that lower vision. You still differentiate between the two. I don't. That is the clarity with which these people live. There is absolutely no doubt in them. Absolutely no doubt. They're fearless people. Subhinna, that's why it's used. Nicely it has been cut away. Completely cut asunder. That is the kind of conviction. Therefore, they have shaken off all the idea of desires and ignorance. They're absolutely steady. The next loka is 89, page number 108, which says, सर्वत्रानवधानस्य न किंचिद्वासना हृदि मुक्तात्मनो वितृप्तस्य तुलना केन जायते. How can we ever compare such people with anyone? Who are these people? Sarvatranavadhanasya. They are unconcerned, unattached, not paying attention, inattentive to all the worldly matters, as if they don't care about it. Na kinchid vasana hridi. There is not even little samskara. Vasanas mean the old tendencies, You might have given up samsara, now become sannyasi. But old tendencies remain, they don't die easily. Like Vishwamitra. When Menaka appeared, despite all his penance, he fell for her. Because the old tendency when he was a king and he was enjoying women was still lingering somewhere deep inside his heart. That's why he could not resist the beauty of Menaka, despite all the penance. But these people's tendencies are also fully destroyed, uprooted. So even if something's happened which they had experienced in the past, it is no more attractive to them. They've gone beyond it. They've outgrown that. So in their heart, there is not even a tendency for such things. No latent desires, no old impressions. Muktatmano, their free selves. And vitruptasya, completely satisfied with whatever they have. They don't need anything else to satisfy them better. Such people, how can they be compared with anybody else in this world? Absolutely you cannot compare them. That is what Ashtavakra is saying. They're very rare, they're very unique. Their last old past tendencies are also gone away. Nothing, they're absolute empty, pure beings. How wonderful it is. You can be good for a few days. Overcome, suppress your tendencies, desires, impressions, and be good for a few days. But to be completely good forever, all the desires and latent tendencies, your purva janma samskaras, everything should be completely removed, completely uprooted. Otherwise, it can always come back to you any moment, like Vishwamitra, in a weak moment, fell for Menaka. Like that, it can come to you. Suddenly, desire for gold can come back to you. Desire for family can come back to you. How many people I've seen, they become monks in the excitement and then they come back and become family people again. Because they realized it was not their cup of tea. In a moment of excitement, they heard some discourse, suddenly decided, read up a few scriptures, let us go, become monks. In Himalayas, forget about that. It is there in alteration. How many, even Buddhist monks I have met. It is allowed to try out Buddhist monkhood. If it doesn't suit you, you can always go back to the world. Now they are life coaches and so, very popular ones. Because they picked up some gyan, now they go distribute it online. But they could not continue because vasanas were not fully done. They found somebody to marry and they settled down. But nevertheless, they had got some Buddhist gyan. They go on distributing, as I said. Become popular coaches. Then I have seen Hindu sadhus in Himalayas. When I had gone there, Rishikesh, I saw so many of them, they all smoke pot. Or they had take, all these other things, substances. So what I'm saying is that people exist like that, who are like so attached to positions, powers and things like that. 90, page number 110. It says, Janannapi na janati, pashyannapi na pashyati, bruvannapi na cha brute, ko anyo nirvasanadrute. How nice. It says, Janannapi na janati. As if he knows, yet he does not know. He behaves like as if he is ignorant or is too innocent. Pashyannapi na pashyati. He sees, but he does not see. Then what else is it? Bruvanapi na bruvate. He speaks, but does not speak. Ko anyaha nirvasanadrute. Who else can be like a selfless person who has no desire or impressions or instincts left? He speaks, but yet does not speak. What does it mean? It means someone speaks through him. The divine takes over and does things through him. He knows, yet he does not know. How? The divine does things through him. And He sees but does not see because the divine sees through him. His individuality, his personality disappears. That's why yesterday I said, when I read these books, I can't believe these all are spoken by me. I have no memory of it. That's why I have to read. Otherwise, why I have to read and prepare and come? I have no memory of it. It just was flowing effortlessly. And every time the session would get over in 2021-22, I'll go back surprised at my own things. And I clearly know this is divine. Is using me as an instrument. This is not my content. This is not my capacity. Especially when I am not even educated structurally, methodically in these scriptures. I don't even know Sanskrit. Then how is it possible? Even now, after every discourse I come back, people say, what a wonderful discourse. I actually have to go and watch the YouTube video myself and hear myself speak to know what I had spoken. Because you have no memory of it. And every morning I come also, the shlokas are shlokas, after all, if you want, just read the Sanskrit, read the English, go home. But it has to be contextualized, it has to be made practical. And I always tell, before coming I pray, oh God, take over and do what you want with me. Let your voice flow through my chords. Let your thoughts flow through my mind. I don't know what is going to happen in the session. I have thought this way, but whatever happens is your choice. And things flow. Even yesterday when I went back and I said, I don't know where these ideas come from. Right time, right example, at the right way. How does it happen? Who does this? This is the magic of being surrendered. Or whatever these people say, nirvasana. You have no desire, no instincts, no personality, no individuality. For such a person, all this is happening. He is speaking but not speaking. He is listening but not listening. He knows yet he does not know. Because something else knows, something else speaks, something else sees through such a person. He only is a conduit of that divinity. That is the idea of these people. In Kenopanishad, there is a beautiful reference. Here it's mentioned in a short way, just for the reference. In Kenopanishad, the Rishi asks a question and answers it for himself. He says, who is the one who sees, who listens, who speaks, who does all these things? The first shloka itself opening is, Kena means by what? So Kena Upanishad, by what do we hear? By what do we listen? By what do we see? By what do we do? So it has all this, and the answer is that there is a listener to the ear. There is an ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind, and things like that. Very beautiful. Shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vachoha vacham sau pranasya pranaha chakshuscha chakshuh atimuchya dhiraha petyasmant lokat amrita bhavanti, it says. There is ear to the ear. The ear that listens is only the outer, but there is an inner ear. There is the divinity which listens through these ears. There is a divinity which speaks to this tongue. There is a mind behind, there is another mind of God, which works through this mind. Similarly, there is eye of the eye, something that sees through these physical eyes. That is God's eye. And once who realizes this, atimuchya dhira, he gets liberated. Because till then, I am doing, I am enjoying. Because of me, things are happening, I am the reason for all these things. He is stuck, he is bound. The moment he realizes, no, there is something higher doing things from me, becomes liberated. And what happens? Pretyasmat lokat amrita bhavanti. He leaves this world and attains immortality, not after death. Pretyasmat loka, people interpret, after he dies, he will attain immortality. No, Pretyasmat loka means he gives up the idea of this world and therefore he attains immortality, even while living in the body in this world. That is the idea. Our immortality was not to be attained after death. In all other places, you have to die to attain heaven or whatever you want to go after that. But in our scripture, it says here and now, it's possible. If you become this kind of a person without a desire, who is completely surrendered to the divine force takes over, does things through you. Amazing things happen. Amazing things happen. As I said, don't look for examples outside. Right here and now, you know the examples and how things are happening. It's only because of this complete surrender to that divine will. No individuality, no personality, no mind and I. The moment you achieve that, look at what can happen. This is why it's very powerful to understand this shloka. Otherwise, we will only understand theoretically. Next shloka is page number 113 and the shloka number 92. A nice way of saying now. For such a person, why this, why that, like that. Kva swachandyan, kva sankochaha, kvat va tattva vinishchayah, nirvyaja arjava bhutasya, charitarthasya yoginaha. 92 it says, for such a person, where is the question of freedom or bondage. Swachanda, swachandyam means a sense of reckless freedom. It appears that they're recklessly free. They care nothing about anything. They're wild abandon, as I said, careless, not careless, carefree. Then, or sankocha, or restraint and control and behavior and etiquettes. Where does these ideas exist for such a person? And kvacha tattva vinishchaya, kvava tattva vinishchaya. Where is the question of tattva means the knowing the truth. Tattva means truth. So where is the need for these people to search and know the truth? They are already living the truth all the time. So they are not bound by the societal rules of behave like this, don't do like. They are free. Nobody can control them. They are like winds. And then nirvyajaha, they are without any deceit, without any sin. They are guileless. Because whatever they do, they don't mean harm to anyone. They are pure hearted. So neither the freedom kind of idea exists for such a person, nor sankocha means shyness or restraint exists. Because he is completely nishchaya tattvaha, he is completely understood the principle of self. Then nirvyaja, he is guileless, sinless. Even if he gets angry, he means no harm. Even if he loves some people, he means no attachment. That is the kind of life, charitarthasya. His character is fulfilled in the drama of God. He has fulfilled his role. He has done his very best. Charita artha. Whatever he is supposed to achieve, he has achieved. And yoginaha, because he is a yogi. His mind is completely merged in the mind of God. Next sloka is 93, page number 116, which says, Atma Vishranti Truptena Nirashena Gatargitina Antaryat Anubhuyeta Tat Katham Kasya Kathayate. Which means, Atma Vishranti Truptena. Vishranti means restfulness. Atma means self. Tripta means satisfied. The one who is satisfied resting in the self, who doesn't need anything else to feel restful. When do we need to feel restful? Get rid of all these people, give me some solitude, put on some nice music, and then light an incense, one lamp, few mantras. Now I feel restful and peaceful. They don't need all these paraphernalia to feel restful. Why? Because they're resting in their self. Our Bhagavad Gita says, how are these people? They can withdraw their limbs like a tortoise into the shell. Kurma angoniva sarvashaha. Whenever the tortoise feels a danger or restlessness or some kind of anxiety, it immediately withdraws all its limbs and stays within its shell. Immediately. There is no need to wait. And the shell is very strong, it's impregnable. So it's safe inside. Likewise, these jnanis withdraw into that restful state all the time, they're there. So they don't need to worry about what's happening around and they don't get affected. Why? Antaryat anubhuveta. They experience the inside. Like the shell, inside the shell, it's safe. They experience the inside more than the outside. So the first line says nirashena, because they're desireless. And gatartina, so they have no sorrow. See, desires are the reason for sorrow. Even Gautam Buddha says. The Buddhism is developed around this idea that desires are the reason for your misery. Get rid of desire, get rid of misery. That is the whole idea. Same thing he says. No desire, all sorrows are gone. He is experiencing the bliss of the inside. Tat katham kasya katyate. What is to be told about such people and how can it be even told? They are indescribable. Their state is indescribable. That's what it says. So the beauty of these people is that they are living in the world, not that they have run away to the Himalayas. They are living, acting, moving, talking, doing things, yet withdrawn. And whenever there is some kind of a restlessness, they immediately withdraw into the restful state of the self. That is their advantage. So it's very easy for them to withdraw into that state of self because they experience the inside which is free from all the suffering, all the desires, all attachments. And that is why these people cannot be described in words. Their experience only has to be experienced to be understood. You cannot describe how they feel on the inside. You have to be one of them to feel how they are inside. So that is the idea. The next one is 94, which says, Suptopi na sushuptau cha swapnepi shaito na cha jagarepi na jagarati dhirastruptah pade pade. Suptopi na sushuptau. They are sleeping, but they are not sleeping. The similar analogy. Swapnepi shaito na cha. They are sleeping, but they are dreaming, but not dreaming. Then, jagarepi na jagarati. They are awake, but not awake. Dhiras truptaha pade pade. The satisfied one in every situation, pade pade, at every step, such a person is satisfied. Again, this is a beautiful poetry. They are awake, yet they are not awake. As if they are not awake to this unreal world. As if they're not responding to this unreal world. They are in their own world. Then they're sleeping but not sleeping. They're dreaming but not dreaming. See, in our scriptures, three states of existence are known: wakeful state, dream state, deep sleep state. It's called Jagrati, Swapna, and Sushupti, deep sleep. But Mandukya Upanishad says there is a fourth state. See, generally we are only in three states: either we are awake, we are dreaming, or we are in deep sleep. But Mandukya says no, there is a fourth state. And that state is called Turiya, consciousness. Consciousness is there while we are awake. Consciousness is there while we are in dream state. And consciousness also is there in deep sleep. Because the argument is, while awake we are conscious. Everybody is conscious that I am sitting here listening, whatever. In dream also, semi-conscious state we are there. We are slightly aware that we are dreaming. Many times we know that we are dreaming. We cannot come out of the dream somehow. But we know that we are dreaming. So we are conscious. But in deep sleep seems like we are not conscious. We have forgotten everything about who we are, where we are, what we are doing. When we wake up, say, where was I? Like that question. Many times children wake up in the afternoon and think it's morning. And start brushing their teeth. I have done that. Suddenly you take an afternoon nap, you get into very deep sleep state. You wake up, you think it's time for school. Straight away, your body is like mechanized. When you get up from the bed, straight go to the bathroom, pick up the brush, start brushing. Then your mother comes and says, what are you doing? I said, I'm brushing because I have to go to school. He said, this is 5 o'clock in the evening. You had a deep sleep, we didn't disturb you. So seemingly we forget who we are. But when we wake up, do we remember or not is the question. It means whatever that consciousness was there, it was keeping track of who we were. If everything was gone, then when we wake up, we should not remember anything at all. It should have been lost. That information should have been lost to us. But we wake up, the memory comes back. So there is some mechanism. There is some way that all our memories are intact. They are not lost. Even though apparently they are lost in the deep sleep state. So that argument Vedanta puts in, saying that there is some reason why we still remember things once we wake up. Though we have forgotten everything when we were asleep. And that one thing is called consciousness, which permeates all the three states. Omkara is representative of that. The lower curve is Jagrata, the upper curve is Sushnavastha, the tail is the Sushupti, and then the Bindu is there, or whatever. The Bindu is there, that is the Turyavastha. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, and then this is the Turyavastha, the Bindu. So Omkara, when we chant, we think like that I am rising from the lower states to the higher states. So our idea of scripture was the consciousness is always there. So where is these people's focus? These people's focus is on the consciousness. You are watching the TV right now or the screen. But are you really seeing the screen? No, you are seeing the pictures. Only when I switch off the pictures will you see the screen. But is the screen there throughout? Of course it is there. But do you see the screen? No, you see the pictures on the screen. Your attention is on the pictures, not on the LED bulbs behind, not on the LED panels behind. When we switch off the pictures, then only you can see the screen. Likewise, this consciousness is the basis on which all the wakeful, dreaming, deep sleep stages are happening. Our attention is on wakeful or sleep or dream. We don't see the consciousness. That is the idea. So these people who are very, very attained, their focus is on the consciousness. And in that consciousness, wakeful state is happening. In that consciousness, dreams are happening. In that consciousness, deep sleep is happening. But consciousness is always there. So they associate themselves with that consciousness. That's why they're ever satisfied, ever fulfilled. Pade, every step. It's not like today they feel fulfillment, tomorrow they lose it. No, all the time they feel very, very fulfilled. This analysis is called avasthatraya viveka in our scriptures, to analyze who you truly are. Are you the wakeful person? Are you the dream person? Are you the deep sleep person? Or are you beyond that? Our answer is beyond that. And that beyond that is the consciousness which these people are always aware of. Next, shloka is 95, which says, Gyaha sachintopi nischintaha sendriyopi nirindriyaha sabuddhirapi nirbuddhihi sahankaro anahankritihi. The same way of poetry which says, Gyaha, the one, the knower of self, Sachintopi Nischintaha. Even when he is thinking, he is not thinking. So who is thinking? God is thinking too. The consciousness is thinking. The Supreme is thinking. He doesn't think. That's why people think, how do you think of new ideas? I told, I don't think of all those things. It comes to me. So are you the thinker? Yes, but no. Because apparently I am the thinker, but I know it's coming from elsewhere. That clarity is there. So that is, he thinks, yet he does not think. Sendriyopi nirindriya. He enjoys through the indriyas. He also sees, smells, tastes, touch, all the experience of the senses he has. Yet he is not the person of indriyas. He is not bound by the senses. As if he is enjoying, yet not enjoying. He is eating. He also feels the sweet taste on the tongue, like everybody. He also enjoys the sweet. But still he is not the enjoyer, is the question. Why? Because divine is enjoying all these things through his tongue. So his individuality is not there. Then sabuddhirapi nirbuddhi, he seems to be very intelligent, yet he is not using his intelligence. And I say there are three states, right? Instinct, intelligence and intuition. Instinct is animalistic. Based on our old vasanas, old habits, we react. Reactive is instinct. Responsive is intelligence. Animals are instinctive. They're made like that. It's inbuilt in them. Some danger, immediately fight or flight. That is their instinct. You cannot change their instincts. You can't train them differently. Like we also have instincts. Somebody says something, immediately get angry. Somebody says something, become happy, sad. Our instincts are there. Then intelligence. We can respond. We can take a moment and understand and accordingly plan a response. That happens to the intelligence, which is given to most of the people, but they don't use it. That's the different matter. Then last one is intuition, where you don't even have to respond. It is spontaneous. It comes to you. It's beyond your intelligence. Lot of wonderful things have happened because of intuition. The other day of Michael Jackson, when the journalist asked, how do you get these ideas? How do you get your songs? How do you plan your shows? He said, I feel it, he says. I feel it. He didn't say, I think about it, I plan it, I strategize it. He said, I feel it. And only when I feel it will I go and do it. If I don't feel it, I won't do it, he says. That is intuition. That comes from a higher self. From the consciousness it comes. But to whom it comes? Those who allow it. Those who are too egoistic, I am intelligent enough, I will deal with it. It doesn't come to them. Those are instinctive, so driven by their passions and aggression, it doesn't come to them. So whom does it come? A pure, calm mind, desireless, with no ego, no attachment. It comes only to them. That's why wonderful things happen through such people. It is not given to ordinary people. They can think and tire themselves of it. And when they make mistake in their thinking, they can blame themselves and everybody for it. But these people neither praise nor blame because it is not their idea. It is not their idea. It is not their decision. It's coming from elsewhere. So these people, sahankaro nahankriti, they looks like they're egoistic people. They also have an ego, a personality, but they don't have ego or a personality. Why? Because they are not the thinkers, they are not the enjoyers, they are not the intelligent people who are making decisions. Therefore, they appear to have ego, a status, a position, authority, yet they don't have all of these things. So do I have a status, an authority and a position? Yes, of course. Do I conduct meetings and make decisions? Yes, of course. Do I seemingly think and explain? Yes, of course. But am I the one who is doing it? No. Am I means, is the body and the mind, the personality doing it? No. It is flowing through this person. You become a conduit, an instrument. So they live like this, pade, every second they live like this. And apparently they seem to be egoistic, or they also seem like ordinary, but they are not. They know clearly it is coming from God. Then why do they need to also behave like normal? Because the others will not understand, they won't respect them. They won't respect them. When people say, you are supposed to be very humble, right? Because you are Jnani and all that stuff. So, just sit anywhere. I'll say, I'm a Jnani. I can sit anywhere. But I'm also a leader of the organization, and that demands that I sit in the proper place. To respect that position and the place. Individually, bereft of my present position in the organization, I have no problem. I'll sit in the last row also. I have no problem. But given the position and the responsibility that I have, it has to be appropriate. That's why earlier in one shloka he says, they behave appropriately. When they meet a king or a saint or go to a temple or a pilgrimage or meet people of other types, they are appropriate in their ways. So appropriateness of the occasion demands that being the leader, you should be seated here. There are protocols. When the Rashtrapati came here, president of the country, for the convocation, they gave us a list of protocols. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to be this way. They cannot change that. Does it mean the Rashtrapati is so egoistic that she would sit in the center only? She is not asking for all these things. The position of the president demands all these things. Likewise, they may be kings, these Gyanis. For the sake of kingship, they'll sit on the throne, wear the crown, wear the jewels, wear the robes, like Janaka is doing. But inside, they are not attached to any of these things. When they are not the king, they'll give. Tomorrow, if she is no more the president after her tenure, you think she can demand all these things? No way. Wherever they make her sit, there she has to go and sit. That is the idea. These people live by the day, simple as that. Live for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Shushka Parnavat is there earlier, right? Like a dry leaf floating in the wind. It appears like the leaf is going somewhere. It has a purpose, it has a plan. It knows where it's heading. No, it knows nothing. It just floats in the winds. So, can you be like those dry leaves floating in the winds of God's will? Not your will, God's will. Then you seem to be very animated, you seem to be moving, doing, but really not doing everything. Like a puppet, another example, like a puppet. Somebody is pulling the strings above and you dancing. Everybody looks at you dancing. What a beautiful dance. But the puppet knows I am not the dancer. Means if puppet could speak and say, what a wonderful dance, how did you learn it, where did you learn it? The puppet said, I don't know what you're talking. Was I even dancing? It will ask, because somebody else was pulling the strings. So these people live like that. This is the sadhana. One nice stanza, paragraph is written on 120 page. I highlighted in my book like this, last paragraph, which says, this is sadhana, to act without becoming the doer, to think without becoming the thinker, to experience without becoming the experiencer, to enjoy without becoming the enjoyer. Such sadhana is accomplished by resting in Shantatma, allowing the higher consciousness to prevail and not the body-mind complex, which man mistakenly identifies himself with. That is the, so I thought that was a summary of this shloka, nicely written. The next shloka, 96, which says, Na sukhi na chava dukhi, na virakto na sangavan, na mumukshur na va mukto, na kinchin na kinchana. He says, na sukhi, he is neither happy nor sad. No, you will say, if he is not happy, then he should be sad automatically. Because we only know two options in our life. He says, no, just because he is not happy does not mean he is sad. He is somewhere in between, neither happy nor sad. Then, na virakto na sangvan. He is neither detached nor attached. You will say, no, if you are not detached, you should be attached to something. No, he can exist in a state which is neither attachment nor detachment. Na mumukshuh, na va mukto. He is not desirous of liberation, nor he is liberated. See, that's a funny way of saying it. If you are not liberated, then you should have a desire to get liberated. This says he has no desire to get liberated. So is he liberated already? No, he is not liberated also. He doesn't care. He is free. This liberation, bondage, all these is dual ideas in the minds of the lower beings only. Then he said, na kinchina, na kinchana. Na kinchit, na kinchana. Means, is he somebody? No. So is he a nobody? No. He is he. That's why Bhagavan was asked, who are you? I am I. That's the answer. Shankaracharya says, aham evaham. That is the answer from his Brahma Jnana Vallimala. Aham evaham avyayaha. I am myself. Are you liberated or are you bound? I am I. Are you happy? Are you sad? I am I. Are you desirous of moksha? Are you already somebody who has attained moksha? I am I. Are you somebody or are you nobody? I am I. That is the answer. The answer of these people is that they exist in a state which is beyond the dualities of things. And it's not that they are nobody, they are somebody, but they don't associate themselves with anything. They are like water, they are like air. Anywhere, anytime, anyhow, they are able to live without any peculiarities because they are abiding in the self. Consciousness has that ability to adjust into any way. Mind does not have the ability. Mind is very rigid. Mind wants certain ways only. If it's not this way, they're not happy. If it's this way, they are happy. But consciousness has no problem. That is why these people are dwelling in the consciousness are apparently all these paradoxes. Of they are not happy, but not sad also. So who are they? What are they? They are they. They exist in a state where both do not affect them. Okay, next sloka, 97. विक्षेपेपि न विक्षिप्तः समाधौ न समाधिमान् जाड्येपि न जडो धन्यः पंडित्येपि न पंडितः. In a similar tone, which says vikshepi na vikshiptaha. When they seemingly look disturbed, agitated, affected, they are not agitated, they are not disturbed, they are not affected. They appear to be affected. Like ocean, the waves are moving. Looks like the whole ocean is so disturbed. Go a little deep and see, it is not disturbed. It is peaceful. Then samadhau na samadhiman. They are in samadhi. They are experiencing samadhi. Samadhi means equal mindedness, not that samadhi of vikalpasa. Samadhiman. Yet they are not the ones who are absorbed in it. They are in samadhi, but they are not in samadhi. That's what he's trying to say. It means the lower idea of samadhi is not their idea of samadhi. They are equal minded. That is their idea of samadhi. Jadyepi na jado dhanyaha. They appear to be foolish and ignorant and unaware of things, but they are not foolish. They are not ignorant. Because consciousness is aware of everything. Pandityepi na panditaha. And you think they are very intelligent? No, they are not intelligent also. So they are not dull, they are not intelligent also. Why? Because they are not associating their intelligence or dullness to the body-mind complex. They are associating themselves with the consciousness which cannot be qualified by these dual things. It is unqualified reality, unconditional, beyond the duality. That is why the unconditionality of their existence is their freedom. Otherwise, we have a tendency to qualify, classify, categorize things. Is it hot? No, then it must be cold. Is it good? Then it must be bad. Is it tall? Then it must be short. If it is not this, then it has to be something else. We as rational minds, scientific minds, we want to classify everything from plants to animals to material to people to habits to everything has to be conditionalized, classified, qualified. That is the way of the world. Categorized into something or the other. Because we want clarity, we want clear understanding. But consciousness flows unabated through all these things. So in a moment it is good, next moment is bad, next moment is wise, next moment is that. It flows through all your classifications. So you can't say it is here and it is not there. That is how these people live. The very one thing that I really like is vikshepi na vishikta. Sometimes I look very agitated, I get irritated, I get upset when things are not going that it's supposed to be. And people get very, obviously shaken. But those who live with me, they know. Next morning I'll be different. They'll think, how are you? Yesterday you were like that. We thought you were like suddenly. No, the next day you are like that. How can that be possible? I said, that was then. Now I've forgotten about it. Now we are what we are. They say, how can that be? That is what childlike living is. These people are so flexible, so adaptable. That's why they have no problem. These rigid people only have problem. They cannot change themselves. They cannot modify themselves, modulate themselves. They have to be this way. So these people are flow. Others are like ice cubes, struggling with each other inside the box. These people are like water, happily mixing and managing. Can they become ice sometimes? Yes. But can they become water again? Yes, too. So they appear to be fools, but they are not the fools. They appear to be Gyanis, but they are not the Gyanis. They appear to be agitated, but they are not the agitated ones. They appear to be in Samadhi, but they are not in Samadhi. So these are the apparent paradoxes. See, whenever we talk about these opposites and paradoxes, we are talking about a Gyani. Because we cannot categorize them in one or the other. They are beyond that. So that is Advaita. Two more shlokas, and with that we'll finish this chapter. 98, the next page, the shloka goes, Mukto yatha sthiti swasthaha krita kartavya nirvritaha samaha sarvatra vaitrishyan na smaratya kritam. Little tough Sanskrit, but it says simply it means Mukto, the one who is free. How is he? Yatha sthiti swastaha. In his own situation, wherever he is, in whatever condition he is, swastaha. Remember yesterday we learned this word swastha, which means being abiding in oneself, one's true self, which is what is the definition of good health in India. Swastha means you are healthy. But our health was, in India, the health was not defined merely by physical symptoms of the body. We also consider the state of mind. We also consider the state of yourself. Are you in touch with yourself? If you are all this, then you are healthy. Otherwise, you are not healthy according to India. If your temperature, oxygen and your blood pressure is okay, sugars are okay, you are not healthy. Your mind should be okay too. Your soul should be okay too. So there's a definition from this sutra, Charaka Samhita, which says what is actually a definition of health as per Indian idea. It says samadosha, samadhatu, samagnischa, malakriyaha, prasanna atma indriya manaha, swastha ityabhidhiyate. Samadosha, there are dosha, three doshas are there in us. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, you can do your research. Basically temperature, water, there's fire, water, and wind. These three elements, when they become disproportionate in the body, they cause diseases. That is our basic understanding. So doshas will be balanced. Then sama agni, your digestive fire should be correct. You should digest correctly. Not too much of acidity, not too much of dullness, constipations. Everything should be okay. Then agni, sama, dhatu, samagni, samadosha. Dhatus are there, 7 dhatus, which are materials that we are made of, like blood, the bone marrow, the plasma, like this, fat and other things, like 7 dhatus. Then what else should be good in us? Malakriyaha, your excretory system should be working fine. If you are suffering with constipations, bowel movements are not good, you are not healthy. These are symptoms of unhealthiness. So, if all these are in place, are you healthy? No. Prasanna atma indriya manaha. You are pleasant, you should be of pleasant demeanor, you should be happy. Your body should be happy, of course, because all these things are taken care, but indriya, your senses should be happy. When is senses happy? When it's not desirous. When it's attached, desired doing something, it is not happy. So you should be desireless. Then indriya, senses should be happy, mind should be happy, pleasant disposition, no anger, no frustration, no anxiety, no depression. Then Atma should be happy. You should feel the joy, that spontaneous joy of the self within. When all this happens, then we call you to be a healthy person. Now, by this standard, tell me who is healthy in the world. Not even one person. Why? Because even if they attain the health of the body by all various means, is their mind happy? Are their senses happy? Are they in touch with their soul? Do they experience the spontaneous joy that comes from within? No, then you are not healthy. So our health covers the spiritual aspects also. What a comprehensive definition of health. Only our sages could think of it. Even today it is not been, at least mental wellness issues have been identified as a health issue. But beyond that we don't go. Spiritual joy is not considered as health at all. But that is the basis on which all other things work. And we are missing the very plot. Lost the very plot of how one can be healthy. Only spiritually healthy person can be healthy in the mind, in the senses, in the body. If you are not healthy spiritually, you cannot be healthy this way. Unfortunately, the whole science approaches the problem from the outside, whereas spirituality approaches it from the inside. Spirituality is an inside-out process. Science is outside-in process. So we are always at loggerheads. But anyway, slowly it's getting accepted. So let's see how it goes. So this man is in happy, healthy state. Body is happy, mind is happy, self, joy is there. Then, krita kartavya nivritaha. There is no need of any duties for him. Kartavya nivritaha. He is free from any obligation and duties. Oh, but you are a teacher, you are supposed to teach. Yes, I will come and teach, but I am not obligated to teach. It's a part of the duty, I am doing it. You are supposed to do service. Yes, I will do service, but it is not something that you will put a gun on my head and say, why you are not doing service? He is free. Nobody can bind him. So he has no sense of duty. He doesn't do. Bhagavan used to say, no, duty without love is deplorable. Duty with love is desirable. Love without duty is divine. So these people don't do things because they are duty bound. They do things because they love people. So they do what they have got to do. Krishna says, I have no duty whatsoever, but I still act for the sake of the world, for the sake of others, not for any other reason. Name parthasti kartavyam, you know that shloka. So that is the idea. They are free from the duty. They are not duty bound, yet they act in the world out of love for the world. Then, samah sarvatra vaitrishnyat. They have given up all the desire, vaitrishna. All trishna means thirst and seeking and desires for things is gone. Samah sarvatra, everywhere they are equanimous, equal. Vaitrishnan, smaratyakritam kritam. Akritam means that which is not done. Kritam means which has been done. They are neither recalling what they have done, nor they want to recall what they need to do, remember what they need to do, which means what? See, most of us are either living in the past or living in the future. We don't live in the present. Oh, I did this, I didn't do it well, regret it. I did this, I did it very well, enjoy it. Next, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, become anxious. We are only swinging between the two. We don't live in the present. In the present also, we go back to the past or go back to the future. These people are not like that. They're living in the present. They have no memory of what was done, and not they are worried about what needs to be done. One way you know that you have not done it, you have no memory of it. That is one way. That's why sometimes I go back and I have no memory of things. People have to tell me, you said this thing. Then I have to go watch the video and know for myself. Because that moment something took over and did something. Now this is 2 hours plus I've been speaking. I didn't prepare with a script. I didn't come saying this I'll say at this sloka I'll tell after. It just flows. Yeah, effortlessly it flows. Why? Because the sense of doership is not there. Then this idea, I did all these great things or I'm going to do all those great things, doesn't exist in these people. They're not duty bound. They're free. They're flowing effortlessly. Whatever God wants to do through them, it happens through them. If nothing happens to them also, they're peaceful. Not that you wake up, oh, there are no new ideas today, there's nothing new to initiate, then what will I do? I feel like I'm dead. No such fears. Nothing is there to do, we'll keep quiet. That silence is today's prasadam. Tomorrow's prasadam is action again. They're happy in all situations. That is why it says, Vitrishnasya, they have given up all the desire for everything. That's why Samaha Sarvatra, in all situations they are equal, they are same, they do not change. How beautiful it is. See, most of the time we are told, do this, your duty bound, your duty is to serve, your duty is to help, your duty is to be good, your duty is to study. We are duty bound, we are told. Till we are realize we are duty bound only. Once we realize we are not duty bound. Now you can't go back to the hostel and tell, I am not duty bound to do any service. Just now I heard from Swami that a Sagyani is not duty bound. A Gyani is not supposed to be doing things for doing things, but whatever is being told to him is free. That is when you are a Gyani. But to become a Gyani, you have to do your duties properly. Follow Yashama, Dama, Uparati, Tiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, all the spiritual practices. Then you will reach a state of Jnana. Then all these things don't apply anymore. And amazing things happen. But till then you have to struggle. You have to get rid of your, as I said, what have you to conquer? You have to conquer your own self. You have to be victorious over your own individual selfishness. Once you do that, you are the emperor, you are the king. Nobody can tell you what to do, what not to do. You are not duty bound. You do it still out of love. Next, 99 shloka. Na priyate vandyamano, nindyamano na kupyati, naivo dvijati marane, jivane na abhinandati. It says, they don't become happy. Na priyate vandyamano. If people praise them, they are not becoming happy. Thank you for praising me. You are my good friend. Now we will always be together. Then, nindyamano na kupyati. When people criticize the person, they don't get angry. They say, okay, they are saying something. If there isn't, that's why I said, when there is a positive, constructive criticism, we accept it. We change from there. When there is a negative criticism and it is not useful, we ignore it. Because there is no ego. Ego will get affected in any kind of criticism. But if you have no ego, criticism is good. You learn things from that. And if it's not really the right criticism, it is done out of vengeance, ignore it. How does it matter? That is how you should live. From the day one, Bhagavan told me one thing. Work will speak for itself. You don't speak. So when people praised, you become happy. People criticize you, become angry. This is not the way of the Jnani. They'll ignore the wrong criticism. They'll take the positive ones and improve from there. Then naivo dvijati marane jivane na abhinandati. No, they are not udvijata, means they are not affected, they are not restless, they are not agitated with the idea of death. Oh my God, I am about to die. Wish I could live a few more years. Then, nor they are excited that, oh, I am going to live forever or I am going to live too longer. They are not excited about both. As long as they are living, they are living. If they are gone, they are gone. It's God's wish. That kind of ability to remain steady is the ability of the Jnanis as per Ashtavakra. Now, this is how beautiful Ashtavakra can get. It helps you to elevate your thinking and aspire to try to be like those who are unaffected by praise or blame. All these are Krishna's words also in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Adveshta sarva bhutana maitra karnaivacha nirmamo nirahankara sama dukkha sukakshami. All these words have been used earlier also. These exact words, the words about Ninda and Stuti also have been used in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter. You will listen. So this is the idea. Santushta sasatam. They are always happy, always contented, always. We always knew what we are doing is right. So what is the point in worrying about this criticism? And now the people who have criticized us so badly that it led to a lot of issues for us. They write to me, we want to come and meet you, we want to talk to you. Of course, I don't respond. Like I didn't respond to those emails, I don't respond to these emails also. Because you never know dog's tail. So I just stay away. You might have been changed, you be a changed person, whatever. When your time comes, God inspires me, I will tell you. But I don't respond to any of these things. Finally, the last sloka of this chapter, 100. It says, Na dhavati janakirnam naranya upashantadhihi yatha tatha yatra tatra sama etavatisthate. It says, Na dhavati janakirnam. He doesn't run towards the gatherings of people. Am I being left out? This FOMO is there, no? Fear of missing out now. Ayo, I was not invited to this group party. I was not invited to this club. I was not given a membership. They forgot to call me. Oh, so much of anxiety and depression. This is a new, so they are not interested in such gatherings, clubbing and now bhajan clubbing, a new clubbing has started. They are not interested in going and meeting people. They are happy by themselves. If they don't get invited, they'll be happier. Then, na aranya upashantadi. So do they want to run away to the forests just because they don't want to be in the society? No. They have no idea of running away also. They are where they are, happy. Then, yatha tatha, as and when, yatra tatra, wherever it is, sama eva avatisthate, they remain equanimous, equal-minded, equipoised and happy. They don't need to be with people to be happy. They don't need to run away from people to be happy. Wherever they are, in whatever be the situation, santushtaha yena kena chit, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Somehow or the other, they're happy. How can somebody like this, you have to really ponder on these ideas. We are happy when we are with good people, nice people, good friends, relations. Or the other kind of happiness is run away to the forest, find a quiet cave, be done with this world and worldly ways, and find the joy within. That is the other extreme. But these people don't go to any extreme. They don't have to. Wherever they are, whatever they are doing, they're happy doing it. See, Kabir Das was there, a weaver, happy weaver. A similar person, Tiruvalluvar in Tamil Nadu, weaver, happy weaver. They're not affected by anything. Whatever they're doing, they're joyful in that. Whatever meals they're getting, they're eating and they're enjoying. They are not having any demands, desires, vasanas. Therefore, as I said, this state itself is so beautiful. And Bhagavan used to say, Telugu poem, Astini alini vidi adivi egutu kaadu, bhavameyandu dushta bhavambu vidute, tyagamagunu, adiye yogamagunu, unnamata, telugu chunnamata is to say. You don't have to run away to a forest leaving your family in the name of becoming pure and spiritual. Wherever you are, just change your thoughts, remove evil thoughts from your head. Then and there you will become a tyagi means a man of sacrifice, yogi, a man of perfection. Now and here you will become. This is the truth I am telling you, Bhagavan says. Unnamata, telugu chunnamata. This is the truth, I am stating it as it is. Know this. So the idea is that nobody has to run away from everywhere. See, that clarity only comes to somebody who is unattached, nirvasana. That's why very beautiful shloka from Ashtavakra says, Nirvasanam harim drishtva tushnim vishayadantinaha palayante na shaktaste sevante kritachatavaha. Seeing the lion of desirelessness in the forest, the elephants of senses become quiet. They know lion is around. Senses behave. And they run away, palayante. The elephants run away from the presence of lion because of fear. If they cannot run away, sevante, they become the servant of the lion. Krita Chatava, with lot of what you call Krita Chatava means niceties and sweetness. They start serving the lion because they know this lion can kill us. So, desireless person is like the lion. That is the word Vedanta Kesari which is used in our scriptures. Lion of Vedanta. The one who knows Vedanta alone can be fearless, can be a lion. What can you take away from me? My name, wealth, position, power, anyway I don't care. My life, I am not the body. So what can you take away from me and threaten me to do or force me to do anything other than what is right? Nothing you can do. You have no control over me. I am free. This freedom is the gift of Vedanta, not the theoretical but the experiential Vedanta. Anybody who is experiencing this will be free like that. So that is why I am going on insisting that you must study Vedantic scriptures. That will help you to open your mind and truly attain the real purpose, which is to be free. Freedom is the ultimate goal of all the studies and all the activities.